Hello guys! Welcome back to our channel. Dito pa rin tayo sa due diligence, no? Bago bumili ng real property in the Philippines. Guide number 3, know the seller. At we have a very interesting topic, itong mixed marriages, no? A Filipino spouse married to a foreigner. And the questions that we are going to tackle today are as follows. Number 1, kailangan ba ng marital consent sa bentahan ng kanilang real properties, especially the foreigner? Number 2, paano kung nauna namatay ang Filipino spouse? Ano bang mga consequences nito sa kanilang real properties, sa kanilang mga ari-arian? Number 3, ang mga former Filipino citizens ba pwedeng bumili ng private lands or real properties in the Philippines? Ito yung mga nag-migrate abroad, nag-naturalize doon sa country na yon. They are now a citizen of that country and they renounce Filipino citizenship. Can they still buy a real property in the Philippines? Yun po ang ating tatalakayin ngayong araw na to. At of course, other matters that are related to the topic natin na mixed marriages. Doon po sa mga baguhan pa, paki-subscribe, like and share naman ito pag magustuhan niyo itong video natin. And of course, do not forget to hit the notification bell for future updates na inyong matatanggap. Let us start. Filipino spouse married to a foreigner. I am talking to a pure foreigner. A Filipino spouse marries a pure foreigner. Hindi yung former Filipino citizen na na-naturalize sa other countries. Now, they bought a parcel of land. Pagkatapos, they also bought a condominium unit. Yan ang mga example ng mga properties na ating i-discuss ngayong araw na to. And we will give a profile of these spouses, no? Para for purposes of example. So, pangalan niya si Maria Cruz Bishop. She's a Filipina. She married Andrew Bishop, an American citizen. Date of marriage nila February 14, 2008, araw ng mga puso, sa Santa Elena Church, Batanes, Philippines. Mayroon sila isang anak, si Stephanie Cruz Bishop, at pinanganak siya sa Quezon City, Philippines. Okay. Dito sa first property nila, itong lupa. Well, alam natin that under the Constitution, a foreigner is not allowed to own private lands in the Philippines. Ito po ang sinasabi under Article 12, Section 7 of the Philippine Constitution. Ngayon, kapag bumili ng property ang spouses under mixed marriages, what will appear in the title is that Maria Cruz Bishop, Filipino of legal age, married to Andrew Bishop, American national. Now, yung statement dyan na married to Andrew Bishop is merely a description that he is married to Maria. It doesn't indicate that he owns part of that property. He's a owner of that property. Hindi po. He doesn't vest any ownership. Hindi po niya pagmamayari. Description lang yon. Ngayon, in other registry of this that I know here, they even require an affidavit from the foreign spouse bago i-register ng ROD ang transfer of title under the name of the Filipino spouse. Ang affidavit states that, let's say, for example, I, Andrew Bishop, I'm an American national. I know that under the 1987 Constitution, I am expressly prohibited to own private lands in the Philippines. That whenever my name is reflected in the title, it is only a description that I am married to Maria and nothing else. And that the proceeds or the money used in purchasing this property pertains that of my spouse only, and I have no part of it. It's an affidavit or a sworn statement to that effect before they will transfer the registration under the name of the Filipino spouse, Maria. Yun po ang nangyari. So, in this case, kung sakaling ibenta ito, hindi na kailangan ang marital consent ng foreigner. However, take note that yung mga fruits niyan ng land, they will share the foreigner may enjoy also the fruits because community property man yung fruits niyan. Ang sabi kasi ng batas, yung private lands lang ang hindi pwede. Therefore, kung i-transact yan ni Maria at i-sell niya ang property, there is no need of a marital consent. Now, questions, sino pala yung qualified under the Philippine law to own private lands in the Philippines? Kung hindi pwede yung foreigner, sino pala pwede? Okay. Number one is, of course, a Filipino citizen. Tayo po, mga Pinoy. And number two, yung corporations created under the laws of the Philippines with at least 60% of the capital of which is owned by Filipinos. Ito po yung 60-40 rule. Yan po ang threshold. Hindi po dapat maglamtas ng 40% ang foreign ownership. Hanggang 40 lang sila. Hindi rin sinasabing 60-40 exactly. Pwede rin 90% Filipino-owned, 10% foreign-owned. Pwede yun. Makabili sila ng lupa in the Philippines. And the answer to our third question is itong former natural-born Filipino citizens. Take note that they must be former natural-born Filipino citizens. Ibig sabihin, pinanganak dito sa Pilipinas. They migrated abroad, they apply for naturalization there, they renounced Philippine citizenship, and they became now a citizen of that country. Can they still buy? Yes, they are qualified, pero merong limitations. Ito po ang mga limitations. For residential purposes, under BP 185, Batas Pambansa 185, this is a law, 1,000 square meter urban land, yung sa city or suburbs. Tapos, 1 hectare of rural land, yung agricultural. Kung business purposes din, pwede silang mag-own ng 5,000 square meters of urban land at 3 hectares of rural land under Republic Act number 8179. So yun, at least pwede pa rin sila mag-own. Alright, so that's the rule. With respect sa land, sinasabi natin kanina na marital consent is not needed because sabi ng Constitution under Article 12, Section 7, ito po yung basis natin, yung Article 12, Section 7 ng 1987 Constitution. But it has an exception. Ibig sabihin, it is an exception that the foreigner can own a real property or a private land in the Philippines. That is through hereditary succession. Anong ibig sabihin po niyan? To answer the question number 2, suppose na una namatay ang Filipino spouse. In this example, si Maria, nauna siya namatay. What will happen is that under our legal succession, the spouse is considered as an heir of Maria together with Stephanie, the child. So, ibig sabihin, they will both own an equal share of the property left by the estate of Maria. That is an exception to the rule. Now, kung wala silang anak at mayroon pang parents si Maria, then the foreigner will own together with the parents. Kung wala na pong parents, the foreigner will own together with the siblings of Maria, the deceased. No? So yun ang exception to the rule on ownership, foreign ownership over private lands through hereditary succession under legal or intestate succession. Okay? Now, with respect sa condominium unit, wala tayong problema nito. Marital consent is not needed. Oh, I'm sorry. Marital consent is needed. Wala tayong problema dito because marital consent is needed. Now, bakit hindi problematic ang issue na ito when it comes to condominium units. Why is that foreigners are not prohibited to own condominium units? Kasi, sabi po ng batas at ng jurisprudence, meaning to say decisions of the Supreme Court, this does not violate the 1987 Constitution. Kasi, what they own is only a unit. The four corners of that unit. Yun lang po ang pagmamayari niya because when he steps out of that unit, it becomes the common area na yun. Lalabasan niya, tatapakan niya common areas na yan, which is now owned by the condominium corporation. But the condominium corporation must be 60-40. Ibig sabihin, 60% Filipino-owned at least and 40% foreign-owned. Hindi dapat lampas sa threshold na yon. Okay? So yan ang ibig sabihin at bakit hindi sila prohibited to own condominium units. So ibig sabihin, this becomes community property. They're married August 3, 1988 onwards, the time that the family code took effect, and they own this in common. So if they would like to sell that condominium unit, then both of them will consent. Take note that without the marital consent of the other, the transaction, the sale transaction is considered void. Okay? So, mabuti yung malaman natin ang klase ng sellers na nagbebenta ng lupa sa inyo. And ito yung ginagawa natin is that you're exercising now what we call due diligence. And as we said, due diligence is the investigation or exercise of care that a buyer is normally expected to do before entering into a real estate sales agreement with the seller. Bago ka bumili ng lupa, yun ang ina-expect sa'yo. Dapat alamin mo ang mga bagay na ito. You should conduct due diligence. Alright, and the guides, I will repeat, are as follows. Know the proof of ownership. Number 2, know how to verify a land title. Number 3, know the seller. Nandito pa tayo. Number 4, conduct ocular inspection. Number 5, know the taxes and legal expenses. And number 6, find a real notary public. We are already finished with the proof of ownership. We already finished also how to verify a land title and documents. We are still here sa know the seller. Sa ating next topic po, ang pag-usapan naman natin regarding court decrees of legal separation, annulment, and nullity of marriage. We will also be uploading later the rule on co-ownership. Usually, mga forced heirs. Okay? So, yun ang mga topic natin. Abangan po ninyo yun. Maganda po ang mga topic na yun. So, with that, I will have to stop here. And I'd like to thank you again for watching this video. I hope you learned many things in this video lecture. That is just really my intention to reach all of you guys and help you understand the legal intricacies of the real estate world. When you come into that and enters into a real estate transaction, you have to know all these things. Okay? So thank you and hope to see you again next time. Bye.